Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Sydney.
We're fashion communication students, and as such, we spend an exorbitant amount of time at Ryerson. As the only true designated workspace for fashion communication students, we find the majority of our time before, after, and in between classes is spent in this space, so its effectiveness really impacts our lives. By definition, the Overflow Lab is just that, a space where extra students can come and work, but in reality, the space is much, much more. Beyond an independent workspace, it has evolved into a group work and collaboration space, a designated computer lab, not just an overflow area, a study space, and a place for work on big assignments. As a result, we feel its design needs to be reassessed in order to better facilitate the type of workspace it's become. Overall, we feel the environment is subpar. It provides the bare minimum to students in forms of tables, chairs, and computers, but it's indistinguishable from the facilities provided in the library, a major problem, as this room is designated for a specific audience and the specific uses identified above. On the pro side, the two studio tables provide a workspace for hands-on assignments and group collaboration. Though they barely get used, the room also has a laminating press and a Gerber digitizer. Large windows provide light and a positive visual distraction as learned from the art theory. Again, although they are rarely used, the room also has many large bulletin and display boards, which have the potential to be beneficial brainstorming tools. Though bare, we actually appreciate that the room acts as a blank canvas. Any visuals up on the wall would act as a distraction. On the negative side, we can begin with the desks. They're not big enough, and there aren't enough of them. The tables are not organized in a way that takes advantage of the large room. And they're also so heavy, which makes them almost impossible to move. There are 6 PCs, and let's face it, no one uses PCs anymore, coupled with the fact that one of them is so old and decrepit it doesn't turn on, and that's the same one that's attached to the only scanner in the room. The bulletin and display boards that we mentioned earlier are inaccessible to students and should really be whiteboards or magnet boards that could be used for a temporary display and organization of visual materials. The coloring of the room feels like a mental hospital. And the Gerber digitizer is not a piece of equipment that communication students use. Therefore, it shouldn't be in our workspace. So taking all of this into account, we have analyzed the impacts that these attributes have on our creative thought. We feel like the lack of resources and the inadequate maintenance of the current ones inhibits the natural workflow that could occur in this room, and it's not conducive, encouraging, or at all inspiring to the creative work being produced in the lab. As fashion communication students, the majority of projects we work on are heavily based on creativity and innovation. I don't know about you guys, but does this get your creative juices flowing? The Fashion Communication Lab is important. It's meant to be an incubator of inspiration, not just a designated room where we struggle to make it work. So here are our recommendations. We want to remove any visual clutter and create a cohesive, consistent space. And we would like to change up the floor plan to encourage collaboration and creative thought. We want to avoid overstimulating the users of the room by removing any visual clutter. The workspace should be visually connected and consistent. We want it to be a homogeneous entity to encourage creative, free-flowing thought, a sort of blank canvas, if you may. Based off of the white box theory, a lack of ornamentation or visual variety reinforces a sense of order because it must suit various work needs, which makes it the most desirable in a communal space. There also needs to be a consistency with the supplies and resources because even the inadequate maintenance of the current ones inhibits the natural workflow that could occur in this room. By providing students with a place that promotes a sense of community, it encourages collaboration and stimulates creative thought. And that's not just our opinion. Psychiatrist Carl Jung's research revealed that people generally perform better as individuals and as groups when the environment accentuates behavioral needs. The way the room is set up now separates everyone and doesn't give us the opportunity to interact with one another in a productive way. Studies have actually measured a 15% jump in innovation when a workplace encourages brainstorming and free exchange of ideas. So we're going to take a bit of advice from the experts and run with it. We want to enhance the openness of the room by making the tables more flexible while tying in a socio-pedal arrangement. This arrangement is a radial floor plan or grouping. It encourages accidental interaction and social activity. It's very similar to a dining room setup or a game of Duck, Duck, Goose. So in conclusion, if you haven't caught on yet, we feel like this environment is far from inspirational. By creating a consistency and fluidity to the appearance of the room, as well as maintaining the quality of supplies and tools, it will allow the mind to focus and get the creative juices flowing.